Gemini 3 has just been announced, and these stats are absolutely insane. Let me show you right here. Look at this. Let's go and zoom in and just go side by side. And it absolutely demolishes the competition. Even Elon Musk and OpenAI have praised it according to their X post. And take a look at this. This is the current stats right now. Let's go down the line and then we'll go ahead and actually test it out after. Humanity's last exam, 37.5. GPT 5.1, the most recent update, is not even close to this. And they just updated GPT 5.1 recently. And now we can see additional stats. Look at this one. For the GPQA Diamond, 91.9%. This is so crazy because we're almost to 100% and it's not even 2026. Let's look at the mathematics. Look at the comparison. It's slightly 1% here, but then with code execution it's 100%. Here we can see Claude does that there. So this one's a little bit similar to the competition. But for Math Arena Apex, I don't know what this particular measure or why they only got like 1% or 0.5%, but it's at 23.4% for the newest model. So that is absolutely a massive gap. And let's see here, 81%, so still slightly better than GPT 5.1 for this. And then let's see, Screen Pro. And by the way, if you can't remember, this is 2.5 Pro. So even when I was using 2.5 Pro, I still had quite a impressive experience back at least a few months ago. And 5.1 currently is the one I've been messing with the most. And just looking at some additional stuff, looks like for this particular one is a 0.115 and 87 for video, which is, this is actually something I saw they made a post about, or essentially in the blog. It says knowledge acquisition from videos, and there was showing you can upload, for example, a pickleball game you guys play, or I'm assuming any sport that it can read, and it'll analyze and tell you like what you can improve upon, which is can be crazy. So RIP to basically like online coaches who like you send your videos to for training, if AI can do it better. But anyway, let's move on to the next one here. Live Code Bench. Additional, if you can see, 54%. This one for the SWE, which I think is a little bit, I would say, not the most impressive because it's still similar to like GPT 5.1. But it looks like Claude, at least right here, is slightly higher. And then we have here 85% here. But this is interesting. For the long horizon agentic tasks, net worth, so essentially higher is better. It has 5,000 plus, and the rest are just this like what, 2.5, 500 plus, 3,000. So it looks like Claude's doing actually much better, but 3 just wipes it out the floor. And then additional stats here you can see, and basically, according to these overall markings, it is significantly better than every single AI model out there. And if you were to check the ranking on Arena, I believe it is 15. So let me actually check that out right now. So take a look. Here it is. We can see here. This is on LM Arena. And Gemini 3 Pro 1500, 1501. And look at this. Let's see here. Based on pre-testing temps. So this is interesting. And currently for web dev, it's at 1487. And GPT-5 medium and Gronk 4.1. And they are not even... these are were the best. Now this is now Pro. So let's go ahead and let's see if they have additional posts. I think they're showing here, for example, just the current levels. And here's Deep Think in the darker blue here. As you can see, it's significantly higher than most, slightly by a few percentages. And then basically it says here you can learn anything. So for example, like learn how to cook your family tradition. It can decipher translate handwritten recipes, which is pretty cool. Let's see some additional stuff here. Analyze complex information, which we already know this for most AI, but it looks like it's significantly better. Here's the one I was talking about with the pickleball, where it can analyze it. So it's kind of interesting because there's a couple sports that I play that I'm like, man, imagine AI could like improve upon it. And then let's see here. It's just additional stuff like that. So obviously you can go here and check out some of the stuff here. But for example, here is a retro 3D space game that it has created. So for someone to actually create this from scratch from code, obviously it's going to take you multiple weeks, if not longer, especially if you have no knowledge. And even if you did have some knowledge, it's still annoying to have to go write every single line of code here. This is actually pretty cool. 3D voxel are using code. Wow, that's interesting. Let's see here. Sci-fi world shader using Gemini 3. So let's see what this comes out with. Wow, this is okay. That's actually kind of, that's not kind of, that is insane actually. Wow, that's crazy. All right, so now you can see here there's additional stuff they have here, but let's just get right into it and let me test it for myself. So previously I've been using this by doing a website. So let's just do this, right? Code for a, let's just say for a website about, and let's pick let's see, just pick, actually let me surprise myself. Websites for a business and make it epic and beautiful. Surprise me. And I'm not gonna say anything this time. I'm not gonna say what type of code language. I'm not gonna say what specific niche. I just want to see what can it actually do from its current prompt right here. Ideally, I would hope it does something that like a beginner or someone who never coded could understand. But again, we'll see. So now I have currently it's on thinking set, and it just straight up says like the copies with 3.3 Pro. And interesting, so it pulls up the code editor. So here, look, this it's using React. So that's one thing. If you've never coded React, essentially you'd want to use frameworks to make the current website to make it better. Last time I was using the test with HTML, basic, CSS, and JavaScript, but here it's doing it for me. So yes, to write all of this takes a long time to do, and it's quite annoying. So let's see, can it do it first place, or say first attempt? And you can see here it's writing everything. We have the components, and then look, we have a services card. We got, look at this. Oh yeah, look at this. So all it needs to do is work. So if it's working, then that's already a plus. But again, this is the moment of truth. We're at seeing. I'm curious to see how many lines of code it can max out at, because I think Pro, it was around like 600, and I had issues after that. So I have high expectations. Wow, this is actually, whoa. Whoa, this is crazy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is crazy. Oh my goodness. How can I make this like full screen? Add Gemini features. Look at this. Bruh. We even have this like little space floating animation in the background. Nah, this is crazy. Let me see. Let's see. Let's go to about. What happens when I click this? Nothing yet, but we do have. Okay, so it looks like it's if it has it, it's gonna go to it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, we cooked. We cooked, fam. This is so nice. Even this little like flashing effect. Let's see what happens when I click get started. So right now nothing's really happening, but for the oh my gosh, this is crazy. Let's see here. Let me just put some stuff here, yo. Nothing. Yeah, so far it looks like the template is made, and this is probably one of the best, not probably, what am I saying? This is the best website I've ever seen AI create from one single prompt. For someone to do this, which I've actually made websites like kind of like this, takes literally weeks to just decide the design, the colors, and like over time you end up changing everything. And even if you were to go like work, like 24/7 or like 12, 15 hours a day, this could take literally a couple of days to just perfect. Obviously this isn't full, but I'm assuming, if you type a couple more prompts, it'll be full. So let me just say, make it more complete and everything works on the site. So I'm curious to see like what's the limit, because I think this is maybe 500 plus lines. Let me actually go and check because I can see it here. Yeah, 472. Yeah, for someone to write 472 lines of code, bro, come on now. Like, so here's gonna, it's like it restarts everything again and reascends, just like traditional ones. So this is insane. So if you're watching this right now, this is what I was predicting. I literally was predicting this like almost like 2 years ago, I believe. when I first saw AI, I was like, if it advances at the rate it's going to, it's gonna wipe out pretty much anyone who uses stuff online. And for stuff like backend, I haven't tested it yet, obviously, but I'm sure people are testing it and they're probably impressed. But for just general front end, which is a skill I thought would withstand the test of time, even with the website builds, maybe I was kind of worried. But seeing it right now in my face, it's like, this is crazy. So here we're at 472 again. So I wonder what it's gonna do. It looks like it writes pretty clean, concise code. It doesn't write a bunch of like random stuff like some of the previous models, bro. They were saying like the craziest things ever. Yeah, so right here, okay, now we're cooking with some more. 655. Let's see if that broke it or did it fix it. So here, what is this? Whoa, this is so nice. Oh my god. Yeah, there's literally no point in making websites from scratch anymore when we have this ability to do. Wow, this is so crazy. Look at this. Even have, let's see what happens when I click on this. Nothing yet. I'm sure I could add to this. But this is so insane. Let me see if it fixed anything here. Let me see let's try this here. What signal transmitted? Come on, I could never have thought about putting that. Wonder what about this does. Select an ass. Oh, this is so cool. What is this? This is interesting. I've never seen this before. And it's just highlighting it and it's gonna go ahead and tell me about this. So yeah, basically it looks like you can literally like highlight stuff and it's gonna like Google searching your own creation live, which I guess if you built something here. Look at this. It's literally telling you, explaining you what this is. Oh my god, yeah. This is crazy. All right, guys, this is insane. Let me know what you think about this Gemini 3 Pro. Any comments below. It is the best one I've seen ever so far. Are we cooked? Comment that down below. Aside from that, like and subscribe for more videos.